Transform your hair with hair growth products by 12 tribes on Earth. Experience natural, powerful ingredients that promote thicker, longer, and healthier hair. Say goodbye to thinning and hello to confidence. Hair growth oil, shampoo, spray, and butter by 12 tribes on Earth because your hair deserves the best. Just look for the links in the comments section.
It's summertime. And now I think the Democratic Party is in desperation mode. All this time has gone by and they still haven't figured out a way to turn this whole thing around and get the black voters back. And the reason why it's not working is because they're trying to figure out a way to get the black vote without doing anything for you. See, they're still on that path, and that's a losing path. Joe Biden, he is not gaining any of the black voters back that he had in 2020. He's not getting them back. And these folks, all they keep doing is they did a lot. They did a lot. And then they just sit there telling you every single thing they did for everybody. And at the same time, want to convince you that that was a lot. He really did do a lot for black folk. No, he didn't. People aren't saying this for no reason. And I think what makes it even worse is y'all really are not properly addressing it. Biden is not properly addressing it. And Kamala, sitting down with a bunch of coons and think you're convincing us, that's your first biggest mistake. I don't think anybody was influenced by Kamala sitting down with Steve Harvey, of all people. Come on. But this is what you consistently keep doing. Steve Harvey can't get you the votes. A lot of us can barely stand his butt. And you're not talking to the black community at all. And it's very obvious why you're not talking to the black community because, see, you want to avoid topics like reparations and qualified immunity. See, you don't want to talk to us because you're trying to avoid those things. You can't keep telling us a lot has been done and then you do specific things for other people, but then when it's us, we got to be thrown in the everybody pile that you've done for people in this country. Well, it's back to that Kamala Harris thing. Well, what we do for everybody also, it impacts black people too. No, we don't want to hear that because you don't tell any other group that. And we don't want to hear it either. But I think y'all are so set in your ways that you don't know how to do anything differently. And you determined decades ago that you were going to play this benign and neglect and do it at all cost. You're looking at Joe Biden's poll numbers slip among black voters, and y'all don't even know how to change gears and say, wait a minute, we need to address this or we need to talk about that. No, you keep going on this path of, well, Joe Biden did a lot. People are not hearing you, you know? And then they're like, Steve Harvey. Well, they can't do nothing just for black people. Why? They do it for just for everybody else. And we're not telling them to get in office and spend the next 4 years doing just for black people. Do something for us like you did all these other people. That's all we're saying. But y'all don't want to hear us. You don't want to hear anything that we're saying. And that is a problem. That's a big problem for you to have a big voting block and you are failing to listen to them. You've been failing them the entire time. So, James Clyburn is back on the soapbox with the same message we heard back in 2023. So, James Clyburn blamed President Biden's struggles with black voters on miscommunication and disinformation, fighting back against perception that the president is losing a demographic that has long stood by Democrats. But that is your fault. You won't do anything about it. You won't do anything about it. Recent polls has shown the former president Donald Trump could attract up to a fifth of black voters in November's election, a significantly larger proportion than previous races. We have to be very careful because this is all about miscommunication, disinformation, and that's what causes me great pause, Clyburn said Wednesday in an MSNBC interview with Andrea Mitchell. I know the power of media and the power of media repeating these things rather than reporting what's actually happening. He continued, that is what's causing the problem. So, he's acting as a surrogate to Biden on the campaign trail. So people feel depressed. And if you depress enough people, you can suppress their votes. He continued. And that's why I'm running around the country. I'm going to Georgia this weekend to spend 2 days down there, reminding people of what this man did for 4 years, that he was in office, Clyburn added. Nobody's going to care, James Clyburn. You might as well sit home and get on live stream. It's not going to make any difference. Both Biden and Trump have ramped up their efforts to reach out to black voters, especially black men in 2024 election cycle. Trump has leaned on attempts to connect with voters, while Biden's campaign has generally focused on policy accomplishments. I don't know your path to victory without black men. Mondale Robinson, founder of Black Male Voter Project, told The Hill this week. Biden's campaign has pushed back on the idea that Trump could be making gains among black voters. So, campaign co chair Mitch Landrieu said this week that there's no universe where Trump wins 21% of black voters, as a recent CNN poll suggested. Trump received about 12% of the black vote in the 2020 election. At the campaign event last month, Biden said Trump is merely pandering to attract black voters, while he and the incumbent has delivered. What did you deliver? Seriously, what did you deliver? I've shown you who I am, and Trump has shown you who he is. And today, Donald Trump is pandering and peddling lies and stereotypes for your vote so he can win for himself, not for you. Yeah, but that's what the Democrats did. Biden won for himself. And then once he got in office, he turned his back on the black community, like y'all always do. And he's not the only one that did that. All of the politicians on the left have done these things. So, anyway, this is what I'm talking about. He's sitting here talking about misinformation and disinformation. No, it's your actions, it's the things you've done. After you get elected, you spend the next 4 years ignoring the Black community until you're up for reelection. Then you know who we are again. And all of y'all have consistently done this on the left. All of you. All right. So the Trump campaign, meanwhile, has held up in the polls as proof of work paying off. President Trump is showing up in the Black communities and listening to voters where they live. Janaya Thomas, the Trump campaign director of Black media, told The Hill in a statement this week. Polls and every other measure of public support reflect a historic number of voters in the Black community are abandoning Biden and moving towards President Donald Trump. Now, do I think people are? Yes, I think people are gravitating towards Trump, but I think they're greatly exaggerating the numbers. That's my opinion. So, y'all, tell me what you think about Clyburn running around believing he can save Joe Biden's campaign while continuing to offer nothing to the Black community. Unbelievable. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.